I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to like migrate over to Cosmic since it is sort of the new hotness, but the lack of global shortcuts kind of has me crawling back to GNOME.
I think the problem with global shortcuts is that everybody does them their own way. It's like GNOME has their way, Hyperland has their own way.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
Wayland didn't really
that
have like a
shortcuts
standard
in
thing
there.
for that, right?
Not yet, as far as I know.
There's been talk about a portal maybe, but I don't know if it would run anywhere.
I know you can use X Wayland for that, but I've just not been able to figure it out. So, and I'm kind of too lazy to get super heavy into the weeds with for that. So, might just go back to GNOME. I really love Cosmic though, and I really want to stay on Cosmic, but I kind of need those.
I think they'll get there eventually. It's just new, right?
Yeah.
I've been using it for a month on this laptop here, and my general thoughts are, I mean, it's good, but I think my general thoughts are like I'm not a desktop environment guy, so I have a really hard time looking at a desktop environment and say, hey, this is really good. I can't look at any desktop environment and say, hey, this is really good. Instead, what I look at it and say, well, it has some tiling features that still have all the impediments of a graphical file or not tile graphical tiling thing that they have always had with the plugin. Like it's not as customizable as a window manager is, but then again they're trying to make it more user friendly than a regular user manager too, so I have to keep that in mind. So I've had a video planned on it for a while, and it's really hard for me to do it and try to stay keep my Linux nerd guy out of it. You know what I mean? Like I want to. If I get too nerdy about it, I'm going to be very overly negative about it because it wasn't built for me, and so it's hard to
Right. I mean, like a lot of the apps that are included aren't great compared to what else is out there, but they're all the same menu, the same structure, the same theming. So if you are new to Linux, I think it's a great choice.
I think they've done a really good job, and I think
Yeah.
it's going to give Cinnamon a real run for its money in terms of like, hey, can we point to this one thing? This is what new users should go to. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure that it's there yet, but I think that it's closer than I expect for a 1.0 product. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed.
Exactly.
Because I thought it'd be buggy. I thought it'd be missing like major features, but if it's eminently usable. I mean, it's very, very good for a 1.0 product. And if this is where they are at 1.0, where are they going to be in 5 years? They're going to make Budgie look like amateurs. Wait a minute. That was mean.
Is that like a high bar though?
That's what I was saying. It's just silly. Yeah. So like I said, I've been using it for a while. I think it's fantastic on a laptop. I've tried it a little bit on NixOS. It does okay on multiple monitors, but it has all the problems desktop environments have on multiple monitors. It's fine. It's just not.
I don't really have that many problems. Now, my setup is considerably different, but I don't really have too many problems on GNOME with my multiple monitors. But I only use the second monitor as like a secondary screen, so I can throw a movie up from time to time. I don't really use a second monitor in the same vein as a extra workspace because I just don't have the space for it.
Well, I have okay, so I have three monitors, but the one is counts as two because it's a dual up. I've been thinking about redoing my monitor setup lately. If Nate can pare things down, then surely I can too. you know, I've been thinking about replacing these two with just another dual up. Then I still have four, but it theoretically get rid of one monitor and be
How do you
more
like this
compact.
Which
Yeah, I
technically
did
it's
that
a
a while
monitor
back.
and TV.
Would you say? Would you say War Thunder?
I was gonna say I pared down a while back, so I used to have three at this desk and was trying to do four, but now I just have two. I guess they're both 27-inch. I run this LG that I'm looking at. It's a 4K. I run it at 1440p because I just want the same resolution across. I mean, maybe when scaling isn't complete and utter ass, I might run it at 4K, but I have no reason to. I don't. 4K is kind of a gimmick to me. 1440p for me is kind of the top end of what I'm good with. I don't really see the difference beyond that. So I just have these two 1440p monitors, and I will say on a laptop, I do use more workspaces than I do on a desktop where I've got multiple monitors. I'm trying to get more in the mindset of using workspaces. It's hard because I have so many years of, to be honest, Windows is absolutely lack thereof of using workspaces in any efficient way whatsoever. That I've got my keybinds in that setup because Drew partially corrupted me with, I don't remember if it's your DWM config or the BSPWM config. I messed around with your keybinds and I stole most of them. And so I've got that from like moving back and forth between workspaces and that, and I'm trying to get used to that kind of mindset because
So are you using Cinnamon for this, right?
Cinnamon.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm amazed at how much configurability that Cinnamon has in terms of the keybinds, different window manager rules and whatnot. Like I haven't dove all the way down, but I think if you spend enough time in the keyboard shortcuts and whatnot, you could probably use the keyboard for everything if you wanted to. There's a lot more customizability than I expected there. I even learned yesterday, Cinnamon has a built-in screen recorder. I had no idea. It's Control-Alt-Shift-R. It records a WebM file in your home folder. On X11, you can have audio, which it didn't work for me here 20 minutes ago. I don't know what that was about. But like it records your desktop to like a WebM file. I don't know what the bit rate or anything is. And then it's Control-Shift-R and then it stops recording. It's not anything special.
Is it using a Mint thing, or did they like fork GNOME screen recorder thing?
I don't know. I need to actually go look into that. I just found this last night because of all things, I was recording a video on the Mint 22.3 because I was playing with the Wayland session, and they don't have the portals fully configured yet for something like OBS, so you could just do desktop capture. I think all the bits are there, they just don't have it configured yet. And but the Cinnamon screen recorder can record, it just doesn't record audio on Wayland yet. And so I used OBS to record my audio, and I used the Cinnamon screen recorder to record my desktop to get around that problem, which was kind of fascinating. But it's shockingly stable. It's not done yet. Like there's still some there, you can definitely tell using it. There's still some rough edges and whatnot. It's not there yet. But like if I booted in and used it, I think in a lot of cases it would still be fine.
So is it recording sound as well? The screen recorder that you were using on Cinnamon?
So on X11 it does. On Wayland it does not. I'm assuming it's because it probably records through Pulse Audio or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I need to actually go look into however it works. Of all things, I found it because I asked AI about screen recorders for Wayland because, like I said, I needed something that would record my desktop for the short bit I did on Wayland. And it was like, oh yeah, here's this video from like 6 years ago. Apparently there's a built-in screen recorder. So I need to go look more into it. Because to be honest, it's enough to replace simple screen recorder for me, because sometimes I just want to capture a desktop for something short and sweet and nothing crazy. And then I'll get OBS out if I want to have transitions and all that fun stuff if I need it.
Interesting. It's an FFmpeg wrapper of some kind, or
probably.
I mean, probably most things.
Yeah,
it really wouldn't surprise me if somewhere deep within the wells of OBS, FFmpeg is just there doing his thing. You know what I mean? That's just the
I would probably bet on it. Why reinvent it? Honestly,
I wonder if someone went and looked at the hard dependencies for OBS, if FFmpeg is actually there. It'd be interesting to see.
I mean, it practically does everything. It probably could practically be its own desktop environment at this point, or at least it could record one for you.
It is interesting how there are certain applications like that just kind of are Swiss Army knives. Because one of them that I think of every time I think of something like that is Pandoc. Like Pandoc will like if you need to translate one format to another in terms of a document. That thing does everything. The biggest
Yeah.
downside of Panda, of course, is that it's written in Haskell, and when you pull it down, it pulls down all of
Everything.
Haskell.
Yeah.
Like everything. It's worse than Python. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
So
because I use that to actually convert MD to HTML in a doc
Mhm.
reader so that it renders properly in the quick shell wrapper I built. It's pretty funny.
yeah, when on times when I don't want Pandoc on my system, one thing, and I happen to have Obsidian installed, Obsidian will actually do that for you. So
Yeah, well, the nice thing is when I generate the app, it pre-does the docs, so I don't have to include Haskell.
yeah,
It's just done. It's kind of nice.
I wonder if
But yeah,
there's
it's a good util, but it is Haskell.
yeah.
I find some KDE apps are like that, where it pulls in way too much of the KDE stack when you pull it in. Like, I don't use Kdenlive as much anymore, but like Shotcut was pretty bad about it. Kdenlive was pretty
Yes.
bad about it. I use the app Supersonic, which is a music player, which I believe has some Qt stuff going on. And I run those. That's one of the few reasons I just run those as a flat pack, let it sit in the corner, and just so I don't have to pull in the whole KDE stack and deal with all that madness.
So there's actually a GNOME app called Morphosis, something like that. It's on FileHub, and it looks like it's a front end for Pandoc. So you'd be able to do the translation stuff in a GUI if you wanted to. That's interesting. I don't know if it works or not. I was just curious. I searched for Pandoc as a flat pack, just thinking that maybe there was a chance somebody had packaged that. It's more likely to be a snap somewhere, because they do more terminal stuff than Flatpak does. But they have Pandoc as a tag. So, War Thunder, you're talking about workspaces. I'm exactly the opposite, of course. I use many workspaces everywhere. Like you can't pull me away from. Like right now, I have 7 of them open across 4 monitors, which is pretty light for me, actually.
I was going to say that's pretty light.
I just did a NixOS update and restarted, so that's the reason why there's only 7. But we were talking about monitors, and the thing is, like, I don't think I actually need 4 monitors. The only times I ever actually use them is when I'm doing something like this. Like I have OBS and I have, the window open and I have a browsing. But even then, I get away with 3 because right now one of them's just sitting there not used. So theoretically, I could get rid of one of my monitors and have more desk space. So I'm Drew's been talking about paring down his tech stack. And as in everything, I follow what Drew does. He's like, that's a good idea, Drew. So I was thinking about that too. So I have a question for you guys. Just interestingly, what just go around. What browser do you guys use? Because I've had some recent problems with Vivaldi, and it led me to using some other browsers. So, Drew, you're still using the Helium browser, right?
Yes. I actually tried to use Zen recently. I don't know if anybody has used Zen, but you might like it, Matt. I don't think I do, because of the way you've got this bar on the left, and I'm not sure that I enjoy that. But
I'm saying
Helium,
but it works. Otherwise, it works good.
Yeah, no, it works fine. But Helium is freaking good. It's really good, man.
Yeah. So when I was having the YouTube problem with Vivaldi, Zen was one of the ones that I went to, and they made so many little UI choices. The vertical tabs is one of them, but whatever. But there's just so many other little things that are just funky to me that I just couldn't get past. So I had to stop using it. Cameron, go ahead.
Absolute favorite browser is Brave browser. It is the only browser, and there might be some heresy behind that, but I'll take that too. I'm a heretic. I love Brave, even as proprietary as it is. Oh, there's my.
Dane, go ahead.
I agree with Cameron. I'm still using Brave until I find something better. Although, Matt, can we just quickly circle back to the monitor chat? Have you actually considered ultra-wide monitors?
I have thought about it, but I'd have to replace all my monitors then. You know what I mean? And maybe if a couple of them died, you know what I mean? Like if I could sabotage a couple of mine so I could justify buying some new ones. But as is, my monitors, despite how much I use my monitors, they last forever, man. Like it just the HP that I have over here is the oldest one I had. I got that in college. I've been out of college since 2010. So I mean, the thing is old. It's 1080p. It holds all the rest of the monitors back, so I have to run all of them 1080p. But I don't care. It just works. It has HDMI. It's never gonna die. I had a power cord or whatever go bad on it. I just stole a power cord off another thing, and it was fine. Um, I see other people do the widescreen stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that looks really cool. And you could do something like with Herp Slough WM or whatever that allows you to set like virtual desktops, so you could like set up so that the widescreen acted like multiple monitors, but not until something dies.
Yeah, I'm running Neri on ultra wide, and it's just absolutely top level.
The multiple monitors thing has kept me from using Neri because Neri doesn't work very well on multiple monitors.
Sure.
It does okay, but the one I want to try is Mango WC. That supposedly allows you to set per monitor rules for tiling versus scrolling. I just haven't been able to get it to actually work yet.
Sorry, didn't mean to take right now.
No, that's fine. That's the whole point of open mic night. We're not going to go in a linear thing here. Greg, go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah, this isn't going to help you out any, but I like Vivaldi. I'm just sort of curious, and I'm not saying you don't have a problem, but I see a lot of people either in groups like this or online where they're like, "Oh, this browser wasn't working," or like, "What?" I've never used a browser and thought, "Boy, this isn't working for me." I mean, they're all web browsers. Like, what problems what are you guys trying to do where you see these problems with browsers?
So what
other than using Chromium because you have to do the like serial interface stuff,
yeah,
with like ESPs or whatever.
The reason why I was looking at other browsers was because I was having a problem with YouTube where I was go to YouTube, click on a video, and it would say this video is not available, or this content's not available, and it would do that over and over again, and I didn't know how to solve it. So I went and deleted my entire profile folder from my hard drive and started completely from scratch, and the same thing was happening. What ended up being the problem was that Vivaldi has a built-in ad blocker, and YouTube sees that as verboten. And so once I went into the settings and added an exclude rule for the ad blocker, the problem went away. So I'm back on Vivaldi. I no longer need to find. The reason why I was asking the question is because I find it. I knew I didn't want to use Firefox, right? Because Firefox is just bad lately. It's just a bad browser now for whatever reason. I can't get my head around it. So I was wondering if anybody else had, better experiences with other things. So that's mine at least. War Thunder, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not going to help either because I'm on my Vivaldi challenge right now to use Vivaldi, and I've actually been liking it. But like, so I used Firefox for a long time. You have to keep in mind, I used IE 9 or 10 when it was relevant because that's what came with my computer back then. I then used Firefox until college, which was longer ago than I care to admit. And then I had to use Chrome in college because everything in college was written for Chrome because, of course, it is. Not that the people dealing and programming the dashboards were absolutely lazy as crap. And would only program for one browser. And then a couple of years ago, I went back to Firefox. And then with all the nonsense with their CEO, I finally got pushed over the edge. I started having a lot of performance issues with Firefox where like websites wouldn't load or I'd have YouTube would spin forever. Some of it I did boil down to Unify's default. It's got like a content filter by default that's on. And if you have that with the ad blocker on, it completely breaks the internet. As I found out. In fact, I found out because my wife reads a lot of stuff online and a lot of her websites just stopped working or would spin forever or whatnot. And we found out it was the content filter just nailing it for no reason at all. But yeah, I started having issues with YouTube and Firefox, and I'm sure it's Google sitting there sabotaging everything, but I just decided I wanted to see why you liked Vivaldi so much, or at least you did. So, like I
Still
said, I
do.
challenged
Yep.
myself for, I think it was 60 days or 30 days, or I don't even remember now. We'll see. And I don't think it's too bad. So far, the only breaking thing I have noticed is I both like and hate the fact that you can force a dark theme on all pages because I am dark theme for life. However, that seems to break some websites pretty badly.
Yeah, Dark Reader's the plugin that's based on, and it does the same thing. It breaks stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I find it constantly surprising how many people I've pulled into Vivaldi along with me. I feel like I should get some kind of monetary kickback from the Vivaldi guys because I've brought them a lot of new users.
Well, hey, I'll buy something off your store once I save up a little bit because I'm spent for this month.
I should create like some Vivaldi merch and just.
There you go.
And I'll just keep.
I use Vivaldi, by the way.
Yeah. That's happening. All right, Mike, go ahead. Don't forget to unmute yourself, bud.
Hey, yeah, I using Flood. Yeah, it was a long time using of Firefox, but yeah. So now Flood, and a cool thing is Firefox add a new feature. So now you can customize your key binding. So the shortcuts, if you do about keyboard, now I can do Control-Shift-C to copy instead of Control-C, and it opens the developer tool or something like that. So it's great that.
Yeah, one of my favorite features of Vivaldi is actually that you can do key chords. So you can so let's say you wanted to copy a tab from one workspace to another. Theoretically, that's not possible, but what you can do is copy a tab and with a key binding and then set up a key chord to then move it to another workspace. So you can kind of combine the two key bindings together. That's really cool. I don't have it's not like the most useful thing ever, but I've had need to use that a couple times and it's pretty neat. GNU Linux, go ahead.
Yeah, they will pry Firefox from my cold, dead hands. I am addicted to the extensions. I have over 50 of them. Yes, that's 50. I use a lot of them. I'm not going to say I use all of them, but I definitely use a lot of them. I'm sure I could recreate that functionality if I switched, but it would be a process and it would take me weeks, I'm sure, and I probably wouldn't get there 100%. So in addition to that, I would just like to say I always appreciate Work Thunder sticking up for Mint and Cinnamon. And I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts in Cinnamon. And in addition, Firefox has a shocking number of convenient keyboard shortcuts that you could use to navigate around. If you want to be a person that uses the mouse less and be more efficient to jump around pages and navigate links from page to page, Firefox has a lot of really great ones to navigate between tabs. I made a whole video about it on one of my old podcasts, but yeah, they're very sophisticated and pretty powerful. So I think that's really cool. And the last thing I would like to say while I have the mic here is all you guys that are watching YouTube in a browser, you're doing it wrong. A browser is the last place you should be watching video. You have so many better options. If you're on your laptop or your desktop, you can get, for example, a plugin to send the URL from the YouTube link that you're clicking on right to MPV and have it play on MPV, for example. There's a neat Firefox extension for that and a number of other ways to do it. And aside from that, I use an actual television where you're supposed to watch videos, not a browser or on a monitor. And I have this neat little thing called a remote control in my hand, and I could use my browser and watch, ad free. And it's just a better way to do it. If you're trying to make your little browser struggle to push that video through, forget it. It's a terrible idea unless you just have one device and no other choice. Thank you.
As a YouTuber, I'd like to remind everybody who does do that, support your local YouTubers. We need your money. I'm just kidding.
Support your creator by buying something.
Yeah. Shop.thelinuxcast.org. All right. Uh, before we move on to the next one, GNU to Linux, the next time you start your browser up, I want you to do me a favor. I would like you to run the time command in the terminal and start Firefox up from the terminal. I want to know precisely how long it actually takes your Firefox to start from cold to actually launching its first website.
You're not supposed to close your browser.
So in other words, he don't know.
It doesn't take long, but no.
All right, Ned, go ahead.
One thing I noticed, I was so confused when I saw this. It was like, hey, would you like an AI summary of this YouTube video? Firefox asked me. And I come to watch the video. Why do you think I want a summary of it? And so I was very surprised to see Firefox, of all browsers, starting to get on this hype train. And that just... It filled me with so many questions. That was all I had to say.
Yeah, you can turn that off, by the way. But
yeah, I did turn it off, but
yeah.
It was
another reason to use Vivaldi. They don't like AI, so you won't be getting any AI
I
stuff
have
in
been
there.
considering LibreWolf.
Yeah. There are other Firefox alternatives if you didn't want to use the main branch.
Well, LibreWolf, Waterfox, yeah, there are a couple. I'm excited for Ladybird though, because that looks promising.
I have my doubts that I mean, yeah, maybe eventually they'll come out with a product, but I have my doubts that such a small team can maintain a browser for a long period of time and actually keep up with anybody. But I might be wrong. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic. Yeah. Dane, go ahead.
I was actually going to ask about people's opinions on Ladybird and the servo browser as well.
And I haven't. Why don't you go with your opinion first, and we'll see if anybody wants to raise their hand.
I think, yeah, it's not ready, nowhere near ready. I've been playing with the builds from the chaotic AUR, which has been pretty up to date. But I think both of them show promise. That's just my 2 piece. Like in the future, just no time soon.
Yeah. A browser is such a huge, like, I mean, there's a reason the Mozilla Corporation employs like 800 people. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of developers to do something more, and so it's going to take, I don't know. I'm very pessimistic when it comes to new browsers that aren't just a fork of something else. Drew, go ahead.
I didn't know if anybody saw Nick's video this weekend, his update, his Linux news update. And one of the things was browser Firefox 147 coming out. I just wanted to mention some of the things that he mentioned in that video. I put a link, by the way, because it was in the chat right here. Sorry, I should probably put it in the YouTube chat as well, but it mentioned some of these updates, and one of them was it fixes that 20-year-old bug that basically puts everything in a .mozilla directory and changes it to a .config, a .local share, and a .cache. And so some of those things, and then it also added like AMD performance parity to Intel and NVIDIA. There was quite a few other updates to it. No AI as of yet, but I thought that some of the things that they did on that particular release, which is 147. So if you are ever, if you do want,
I have a feeling that it's me. Can you guys seriously hear anybody, or is it just my internet going down?
He's frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay, so then it's not me. But I lost a lot of people in terms of their video.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people froze.
I wonder if it's the Jitsi service. That's interesting.
You and me, man. This is weird.
Man, we'll just carry on and see if, because usually when Jitsi goes away, it tells you it's not shy about crashing. Everybody else who says I can hear fine, but so Greg, you have any experience with any of the new browsers? Are you?
No. I'm interested to try Ladybird, but I don't know that I want to be, compiling builds and stuff. It's promising, and maybe part of the reason they need so many people at Firefox is they're maintaining 40 years of code. Well, not 40, but like 20 years of code or whatever. And who knows, maybe a small nimble team is what they need to get a new one on the air.
Yeah,
but you're right. Regardless, I do feel like they have an uphill climb. It could be the greatest thing in the world, but you're trying to break into a market that even Firefox has what % of?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have, I don't know what their venture capital strategy is, but I'm hoping that they have some backers, because it's going to be an expensive endeavor. Like, you can't just like be a solo developer and say, hey, I'm going to do this thing.
I mean, you might be able to get it near off the ground, but to keep it going and distribute it and to be able to fund the kind of servers it would take to distribute it widely, you have to have a corporate endeavor going. And the only reason Firefox, frankly, is still around is all that sweet Google money.
Yeah, true. Drew, as the Jitsi guy, have any clue what just happened to everybody on the Jitsi call? Yeah, he it's okay. Yeah, you're muted, so we can't hear you, but that's okay.
I'm logging into the server just to see what, if anything.
It's weird, because usually Jitsi's like, if it goes down, it tells you, it kicks everybody. It's not discriminatory, and it's not going to kick half people. That's weird.
I thought it was me.
No, it was weird. Greg and I stayed. We got 1080p over here. We're just cruising right along.
It was very strange.
I don't know what it is. Everybody froze on my screen.
Me too. Yeah.
And you're frozen pixelated on mine, War Thunder.
Yeah, same. They wouldn't let me back in for 3 minutes.
Yeah, weird.
And Matt, you can't blame Starlink anymore. I don't have Starlink anymore. I
Yeah,
have fiber.
I hear you, Mr. Fiber over there. Lottie friggin'
No, you gotta blame Comcast now.
What is it about douchebags who get fiber? The first thing that in a conversation they have to do is tell you that they have fiber. Sorry. Not that I'd be any different. If I got fiber, the first thing I'm coming out here to do, hey, motherfuckers, I got fiber.
Technically speaking, this is the second time in my life I've had symmetrical internet. The first time was my father had DSL, I think it was. And we had 1.5 megs both directions as a business line. And he said that was pretty good back in the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah. Greg, you were going to say something?
I was just going to, they're trenching in my neighborhood right now. Well, they're not doing it today because it's freaking Arctic out there, but they have been putting in all the tubes to do the fiber. So I will shortly be joining the fiber optic.
I use fiber, by the way.
So maybe we'll get jackets to go with our Vivaldi.
So it's funny. So for many years here, we've had just one ISP. If that's what we wanted. I'm going to shut off some set. I'm getting some notifications here in chat. Plays sounds every single time. I forgot to turn those off, so I apologize to everybody who's watching and keeps hearing all the chat noises. But anyways, we've only had the one ISP here, and what you use them or you didn't. That was the option. So that's the reason why I pay $110 a month for just internet. Like, there's no TV attached to it. It's just internet. And it's okay down internet, but up internet, they haven't improved the upload speeds in 10, maybe 15 years. But anyways, there's a local company that's coming through and putting in other internet around here now. And we won't switch to them because they're about the same price, but they're going to provide leverage for my current ISP, because now I can call them once this is in service and say, hey, you want to know what? If you guys don't give me one of those special new user deals for the next 2 years, well, I'm going to go contact this other company. And this time I can say it and mean it, other than other times when I told them I was going to switch and there was no other actual options to switch. So I live in the middle of the boondocks, so the chances of me being able to join the I Use Fiber by the Way club are pretty slim. Sadly.
Well, I never thought it would happen until it did. And then the moment it happened, I was on the phone call and I'm going, yeah, because don't get me wrong, Starlink was the best thing in internet that ever happened to me out here, because yeah, my internet was basically unusable for 2 years out here, and it was to the point where I was considering building a app, like a cache server, to go out and cache system updates, and then go to the library and update the cache, and then bring it back home and plug it into my router just so I could update my computers, because I couldn't even stay up long enough to even download packages. It was brutal.
So I remember when we first got like dial up out here, and this was the late 90s. We would used to go to this website called toast.net. It's an ISP like in Ohio or something. Anyways, they had that was before the days of speedtest.net, but toast.net had a speed test on their site. You'd go there and it would literally shove a high-res photo to your thing as fast as it possibly could, and you could just see it loading line by line, like it was a dot matrix printer. So the only thing I miss about those days is the handshake. I've thought many times about making the handshake be like my startup sound on my computer. That just sounds like something really cool to do. The problem is I'm like GNU to Linux is with his browser. I never turn my computer off, so I would never be able to hear the startup sound. I'd be so mad. So yeah, we were. One of the things that I find, actually, D-Dubs, go ahead.
Well, that's an easy fix. Just set up a little scheduler, and just like in the dial-up days, it would just drop randomly and then reconnect. So you'll be typing along and you get your sound.
What I could do was just set up auto updates on NixOS and have it and turn on auto restart, because we'll actually do it kind of like Windows, right? So I'll just be sitting there in the middle of doing something, recording a video, and it just reboots, and then I get to hear my favorite sound. It'd be great.
Meanwhile, you just lost all your work. But,
yeah. Like, that video you guys were going to get today.
Really important?
Yeah. Well, apparently not all the people who use Windows and are perfectly happy with it.
Well, why wouldn't they be? I mean,
I would actually like to. Well, I'm assuming just randomly D-Dubs. The reason why they have that setting is probably more for COISCs and stuff like that, right? Single-use computers.
Probably.
Yeah. I was actually reading. What was that thing I looked at the other day? It was called. I actually don't remember. Impermanence. I think it was called Impermanence. There's like a thing that you can use to set up like a Raspberry Pi that every time you reboot it just starts fresh 100% of the time.
Well, Impermanence in NixOS is how you get kind of like the Aurora Bluefin kind of thing. It's very, very, very different. Jerry used to run it that way, and Tyler used to run it that way. So that basically every time you boot it up, it was like fresh. It's a lot of work, and I just never found it to be a useful feature.
Well, I saw him talking about it on Vim Joyer's Discord server. That's the reason why I was looking into it. I was like, I have no use for it, but I could foresee something where you have you have some kind of Internet of Things device or whatever that you want to reset every 7 days or every 24 hours or whatever, and it's just easier just to reboot and it starts fresh. I don't have that situation, but it's kind of cool that it's available. Drew, go ahead.
Oh, I have deer in headlights. I don't know that I hit the button to share.
Well, you're on the hook now. You got to come up with the next topic.
Yeah, give me a sec.
I will come back to you. It's all right. Drew's just there mashing buttons. So let me ask you guys this question. I did a poll the other day on Discord about how many people actually watch my videos, and I'm not going to ask you guys whether or not you watch my videos, because that'd be a little bit too, but more my question is actually kind of based on something that GNU to Linux said earlier. How many of you guys actually watch videos on YouTube itself? Because one of the things I've kind of been looking at is setting up an RSS feed to get around some of the YouTube nonsense, and less the YouTube nonsense and more the lack of self-control I have on YouTube when I watch one video and all of a sudden there's the next thing I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm still watching random lately. Just lately it's just I sit there and I watch these absolutely crazy people plow snow on the side of a freaking mountain. They're just going around these curves and whatever with their gigantic plow trucks, and you can't tell where the road is because they got like 5 feet of snow, and like you just know they're going off the edge. Like you just know it's gonna happen, but they're just going through. This one dude, he's on his phone constantly, so he's got like one hand on the wheel, caulking on his phone, controlling the fucking plow. Sorry, that's what YouTube is like about me, because I that's what I do. So, how many of you guys actually watch any videos on YouTube, or do you have workarounds? Cameron, go ahead. Don't forget to unmute yourself, bud.
I was getting there. The Android interface sucks. Generally, I watch YouTube through my PlayStation 5, or I watch YouTube on my Galaxy tab. Generally through a TV, the proper way to watch video content. But generally, the application is being ran on a console or tablet. I am very rarely running Brave to watch a YouTube video. Now, pirated media, otherwise, maybe, but that's neither here nor there.
Greg, go ahead.
Oh, wrong button. Oh no.
I watch it on YouTube in a browser, but what I do is use the YouTube control panel extension for Vivaldi. So, and I know it's available for others, but in Vivaldi is where I use it. And so I just get basically the videos I want in a little tile pattern. It doesn't show me shorts, and it doesn't do a lot of the algorithm fed stuff. So once I get in there, I'm just watching stuff I want. And lately, I primarily trigger what I'm going to watch through, I have a Glance homepage, and part of it is the RSS feed for videos with just the channels, including yours, by the way, that I want to see. So when the new stuff pops up, it's in my feed, my algorithms feed, and then I click and watch them. And that tends to keep me a little more controlled. That being said, I do have just the straight up YouTube app on my TV, on my Chromecast on the TV. So there are times where I just fire that up. I feel what has helped me with that is you can turn off like autoplay next video, and then that's a better way to control it, because the video you're watching stops and it's up to you to start another one. If you leave it on autoplay,
yeah, I've turned autoplay off, but I still have no self-control when I just managed to make it back to the home page or whatever, and there's another thing. I've also gotten into watching like random drives in the desert. It's just like I can still do other things and look back and not actually have missed anything, because it's just the freaking desert.
I never knew cow hoof trimming could be so cool. I will say that.
The things you find on YouTube is just so fascinating. How can you ever look away? This is the reason why we're literally in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like this is, we just don't know. We're just content people. That's all we are. War Thunder, go ahead.
Yeah, so I do a number of things. So while I'm in the office, I'm watching YouTube. Well, watching, I'll use that term loosely, because a lot of times I'm just listening. Like your last video, I think you put out yesterday or day before yesterday. I just set my phone down and I listen to what's going on a lot of the time while I'm working. I find that when I'm trying to focus, sometimes having that noise in the background, and I can have something to listen to while I'm working, it helps, and that makes the day go by. So I do end up watching a lot of videos, at least according to the YouTube app and whatnot on my phone. But otherwise, I am that masochist that uses a browser to watch videos, and a lot of it is just down to I've had many smart TVs and smart apps and Fire Sticks and Rokus, and I've just never had very good luck. The best luck I ever had was with a Roku, but like I even this last time before I just hooked a mini PC up and said screw it, was I had a Fire TV, and I bought the 4K Fire TV thinking you buy the 4K version, it's a little beefier and
it was still slow as fuck,
right? Yeah, and in
It's-
6 months it was a paperweight. And
Yeah.
just like the last one. It bricked itself in an update, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not buying this again, which is unfortunate because I don't care for the Fire TV interface as much, but like it's not as clunky as the Roku interface. And like, I don't know, most of the time I just watch YouTube or I watch my Jellyfin. I don't really go in between that much. When I feel like binging a series that I own, I go into Jellyfin and I pull up the series and I binge that. And if I don't, then I'll pull up YouTube. And I have a handful of maybe like a dozen creators that I watch on there, and I just go, which is funny because one of the reasons I originally started using Firefox again was because Google Chrome disabled the ability to disable autoplay. I don't like videos to autoplay. I'm also the masochist that will go onto YouTube and click a handful of videos and tab up a bunch of tabs. And then I'll just sit there and I'll watch. And then when I'm done, I move to the next tab.
Yeah.
And sometimes that browser will live for like a week or a week and a half or whatever. And I'll just watch whatever I had queued up, which is something I appreciate that Vivaldi lets you do. You can go in and globally block autoplay. So if you want to tab up a bunch of videos, they don't just start autoplaying in the background, which I appreciate that. Not, and then of course you can still do it with Firefox. My media PC in the living room still does Firefox. I did install Vivaldi. I did sign into it. I just haven't switched it over yet because that was when I was having the content filtering issues and that. So we got that all sorted out.
That plugin that Greg mentioned earlier will also block autoplay. So if you do use Chrome, you can set that up to prevent autoplay. It's nope, forgot what I was gonna say. It just like fluttered off into a wing of nothingness. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm using an application. I don't know if I can say the name. Use my browser with the phone, and then I use Antenna Pod for the cast or something. Yeah, that would be great if you can make the RSS for get notified when you publish something or any other creator. So that would be great because Discord is so for youngers, right? You go there, a lot of emojis, a lot of lights, so distracting for me. So I would prefer something like I can add to my Thunderbird and receive notification.
Well, YouTube has a RSS feed that you can grab from any YouTube channel. You can plop that into Thunderbird, and it will alert you whenever a new video comes up. Oh, if you happen to use Vivaldi, Vivaldi has a little thing that pops up in the URL that shows you if a site has an RSS feed, and you can just pop on that, grab the feed, and take it to whatever reader you want.
Yeah, March is like these lives you sometimes make, or distributor, or some just makes you get the notification not in advance, right? It's just in the moment, so it's a bit yeah.
Drew, go ahead.
So I hang my head in a little bit of shame to know how much YouTube I actually watch. It's kind of unnerving in terms of, and I think that actually my YouTube premium subscription actually probably is the best money that I spend all month, which is shockingly bad. It's better than my gym membership. Let's put it that way. So I watch it on everything. That's the other part of it too. It's like, yeah, do you watch it on your PC in a browser? Yes. Do you watch it on television on my Apple TV? Yes. Do I watch it on my my iPad? Do I watch it on my phone while I'm driving even? So there's all of that. And then I have the fresh RSS. So because I don't watch it enough, I need to know when things are actually like hit the airwaves. It's like, oh, wait, Matt's got a new video. Let me go immediately and go check that out. So yeah, it's a little unnerving and a little embarrassing, but at the same time, what else are you gonna do, man? What else?
I'm right there with you, Drew. At this very moment, I have 1, 2, 3 YouTube videos open. Now they're not playing because I'm obviously doing this, but I have a trip that I was taking on the Apache Trail. I'm watching someone make a graphical Linux distro from scratch, and I'm watching Bread on Penguin's latest video, and they're all going, I'll watch a few, like a minute or two of one, I'll go watch a minute to the other one, I'll go watch another. My AED is made a million times worse because of YouTube, and I don't know that I would ever want to change it because I'm addicted to it a little bit. So there's a reason why I uninstalled TikTok, because TikTok was doing the exact same thing for me. And I know it's horrible. It's not a thing that you want to admit to in front of civilized people, but it.
So with the shorts, Matt, the YouTube shorts, is that like, it's like TikTok almost, right? I mean, is that how you're viewing it?
I had never got as into the shorts because the algorithm isn't as good as TikTok. You'd think that Google would make a good algorithm where it kind of should. The thing about TikTok is it was very good, at least before the sale, of showing you things that you're interested in. So like I went there for book content, a little bit of political content, and his history stuff. There at least there was a big thriving history like community on there. And when you watch one and give it a like or whatever, it shows you more of that content over and over again. Whereas with the YouTube Shorts stuff, it just shows you shit. Like it doesn't really. There's no rhyme or reason. Like it shows me random stuff like all the time. So I've never really gotten to it as nearly as much as TikTok. Probably for a good thing. It's probably a really good thing. Otherwise, I'd never get anything done. So. The one thing before I move on, sorry guys. The thing I was going to say is, War Thunder, you talked about the Fire TV thing. I bought my mom and dad a bigger TV. They needed a bigger TV because they're older and their eyes are bad. And one of the things I needed them to do was be able to talk to the remote to change a channel, and Fire TV and Google will both do that for you, but the Fire TV was on Amazon. It was like Black Friday or whatever. And then here's like a 65-inch TV for 12 cents. Like, okay, that's a good thing. It's made by TL, whatever, TLD, TLC, whatever. TCL, that's it. Fucking dyslexia.
Yeah.
But anyways,
they're not a terrible brand.
They're a good brand. I turned it on for the first time. It takes 4 minutes to change the fucking channel. Like, what's going on here? Like, and even to this day, like they've had a couple updates or whatever. It's faster than it used to be, but it's still astonishingly slow. And my parents, they're in their 80s. I love them to pieces, but they're not patient people. So my mom, if it doesn't work right away, she thinks it's broken. So I get calls, Matt, why isn't the fucking TV channel changing? Like, Mom, just give it a second, So anyway.
I know part of their problem is that the current Fire TV OS is based on Android, and they are trying to move to a Linux-based OS instead of using the Android-based, just because of how bloated it's become. I don't know where that is. I forget what they called it. But it was something they were working on.
Doesn't Samsung have Tizen? Tizen?
Yeah, Samsung Tizen's awful.
Well, and LG has.
I've never tried Tizen. I've never seen it.
It's bad.
LG has theirs based on Palm's Web OS, I think, like from back in the day.
Yeah. It's not good either.
Anyways, we've made you wait long enough, GNU to Linux. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I've talked about SmartTube many times, and regarding algorithms, what's nice about it is it has different tabs. So you could select the subscriptions tab. That's your curated list that just has all the channels that you're subscribed to. So you'll see all the new videos in order with the newest ones on top. Nothing else extraneous. And of course, you can turn autoplay off so you don't get bombarded with nonsense. Or you can click channels, and then you could scroll through your list of individual channels if you just want to go directly to one individual channel, alphabetical order, A on top, Z on the bottom. Or you can go up to home, and that's where you would get a selection of, your channels you've subscribed to, as well as, anything else that the algorithm might push at you if you watch a cat video or whatever like that. So it's very handy there to separate that out. You could just go right to subscriptions. You won't see anything else. And at the end of your video, it doesn't autoplay. You're good.
Not available for Chrome browsers though, right? Cameron, go ahead.
I'd like to point out that I listen to more YouTube than I watch, much like War Thunder. And when the question was asked whether or not we watch, how we watch YouTube, I did not take into consideration that, mainly because of the fact that I'm not actually watching the video, I'm listening to it. So, like your videos, longer form podcast videos, Matt, I actually take you and the guys into the flower room with me and listen to the podcast, sometimes live, from the flower room while I'm defoliating, or something super long form like that, like Critical Role, Acquisitions Incorporated, something that's like 3 or 4 hours long. I love it because that gives me an entire one thing to listen to for the entire day.
I was kind of surprised at how many people listen to the podcast and then tell us that it puts them to sleep. So, Drew, we have issues. Like, apparently we are so enthralling that we put people to sleep.
Sorry, what?
Well, that was my response. I was like, yeah, me too, bro. Like, I'm just sitting there talking. I'm just like, yeah. If I start snoring on you and Nate, you guys know something's up.
Annoying, dude.
Yeah. Like, he snores, man. He snores.
Oh, it already happens. They just didn't tell you.
There's a mute button for a reason on this thing, and they just mute Matt and just carry on with their day. All right.
You know how much effort we put into that, dude? By the way, if you say you automatically inverted the TCL to TLC because it's ingrained in your subconscious.
Yeah, exactly. That it is. Okay, so we got on the topic of TV stuff just because, but the fire stuff reminded me of that. They're just, it's weird. Actually, let me just ask this question: how many of you guys actually have like a set-top box that's Linux based that runs your TV content, or are you all on things like Apple TV or Google TV or Fire Sticks? Anybody have a customized thing that they've put together to view their TV? War Thunder?
Yeah, I've got like a little it's a Celeron powered Intel Nook that I bought. Ironically, one of the last ones Intel made. Right now I just have it boot Mint. I have Kodi installed. I have a Jellyfin app installed if I need it, and then a browser. And usually I just open the browser and either watch YouTube, watch Amazon, watch whatever streaming service it is, or I'll pop up Jellyfin and watch stuff off Jellyfin, that sort of thing.
I'm in this position where I can't do it because of the voice necessity I have for changing the channel, right? I couldn't put my family on anything custom because that functionality just doesn't exist. Like I
get it.
Like I have to have it. Like it's just impossible. I mean, it would be one thing if they could still use like numbers, like, you know, tune to channel 8. You know what I mean? Like, but channel 8 doesn't exist anymore. You have to know the names of the channels that actually go to them. It took forever for them to figure that out because we went from cable, which still had TV numbers, like channel numbers, to this, and it's completely different. They're finally at a place now where it's working fairly well, despite the fact that it takes forever to change a channel. And I trust Amazon to maintain a service about as much as I trust Google to maintain a service, which is to say not at all. So I'm very convinced that one day I'll just wake up, have a voicemail from my mother telling me that our TV no longer works because for whatever reason, Amazon decided Fire Stick TV is no longer going to work. You know, they're shutting down the servers. It's just, I'm very worried about it. Nate, thank for the super chat. He says, "Hey boys, hope you all having a good one. Sadly can't join. Also, I use a Dell Mini PC for broadcasting my content." I'd be curious, Nate, what like, do you have like multiple TVs in your room, or your TV room or something? I'm just curious because I mean, one just doesn't seem to be enough. Sorry, I can't talk to Nate without making some kind of monitor joke. It's just ingrained in me at this point. Cameron, go ahead.
My TV content runs through my NAS. I run a Plex server that I don't pay for. I use the free version because I'm not like streaming to my phone from work or anything. Most of my streaming happens, like that sort of streaming happens at home. And if my NAS and my PlayStation count as set boxes, then those are the two main things that run the video content in my house.
Okay, Ned, go ahead.
I usually just get the content on my laptop and hook my laptop up to the TV. Um, I I use NV control to disable the dedicated GPU in my laptop, and then I restart so it has good battery life. And then I have this Type C dongle sort of thing. So there's more control I have there that I enjoy. It's just being able to turn off my dedicated graphics card
Mm.
and get 6 hours of battery life compared to the 2 on Windows.
Yeah. My thing is like I'm lazy to the power of 10, so I'd very much get into the position where I was just watching on a laptop because there's no way I'm getting all the way over to the TV to hook something up via a HDMI cable.
Yeah, if you have headphones and you have like a color profile set for the laptop, it's gonna be fine. You're not gonna notice that much of a difference.
I actually remind me of CES back in the day, like in the mid 2010s or something like that. They came out with wireless HDMI and wireless display and stuff like WiDi was a thing for like half a year. It was gonna be like the next big thing. You're gonna be able to go completely wireless. It was atrocious. It was very bad.
Oh, I remembered the Linus Tech Tips video where he takes the wireless GPU. That thing.
The quest for wireless technology is never going to stop, but and there's just some things that can't be, you know.
Just use wired. I've never wirelessly charged my phone. It's so slow. It's not worth it.
I just put my phone on the charger at night. Like it's fine. It lasts a day. Unity Linux, go ahead.
Yeah. I watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I came to the realization years ago that the idea of having the TV in one room and the computers in a different room is old and defunct. Now, depends on the shape of your house, whether you live with other people and all that kind of stuff. But if you're a bachelor, you can do whatever you want. Like in my house, I just have two TVs practically within arm's reach, plus a big 52-inch behind me that I rarely use. And then I got myself surrounded. You can't see them here, but I'm surrounded by multiple computers. And that way, everything's close. It's not like a TV room and a computer room, an office and a living room. It's all right here in one room. So, I basically run everything, with the remote. Fire TV is the epicenter for everything. So I've got everything from the old school to the new school. I've got an antenna on the roof that I brought from the last house I used to live in, and I've got where I live that there's between two markets. I get over 100 television channels in HD, and I've got two DVRs, the Fire TV Recast, which is now out of production. But then I also have simultaneously the new Tableau fourth gen device. So that's automatically recording all my favorite, network or over the air television shows, of course. Then the Fire TV runs YouTube, with that app we just discussed. And then, of course, I have all the other apps on Fire TV for whatever streaming services I subscribe to or that are free or that, somebody shares passwords with me, like my dad, who is a TV junkie as well. And then in addition to that, I've got a set top Blu-ray / DVD player. That's the only thing I need a separate remote control for. I just switch the input on the TV, which is, pretty close and almost within arm's reach. So everything is just, I don't need to leave. It's all in one spot, and one or two remotes pretty much control everything from old technology to modern technology.
So you are maximizing the ability to do everything right from your chair,
Right.
is what I'm hearing. Like GNU Linux is like, yep, this is where I'm living. Just bring me a beer. Yeah, that's cool. I am not as much of a TV. We can talk about subscriptions and stuff later, but the thing that you said, that like I'm not a TV junkie, but I want what I do watch to work well in a good UI, and so far I haven't found anything as like, yeah, this is a UI that I'm happy with. I think I'd be better off if I could watch something. That's the reason why most of the stuff that I watch is I'm kind of like I'm just watching on my computer. I can do it from MPV if I want to watch it from MPV. You know, I can do basically much more on my thing from my computer. Like I have a TV. You guys can't see it. It's over there. It hasn't been on in 3 years. I just watch everything here. It's just this is my comfy chair. Mike, go ahead. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yeah, we don't watch much TV at home, but still got $40 Australian dollar television for my partner with Amazon Fire Stick. And for me, I got a VM in my server, right? Running Debian with XFCE and Qubit Torrent. So that is what I use.
Cool. I did notice the XFCE part there. How does XFCE work on I mean, do you watch it just on a monitor, or do you casting that thing to a TV?
Yeah, I just it's a bit freaky. I just use Beer Manager.
Okay. Drew, go ahead.
Questions for GNU to Linux. One is, are you in where you live? Do you have the ability to watch like next gen TV like in ATSC 3.0, or is it like encrypted? Are you using a transcoder for all of these channels? And if so, which one? And is there software associated with that?
Yeah, I've been following the goings on as far as the next gen TV. I hate to disappoint you, but almost in every market around the country, major cities and medium sized cities, the broadcasters have elected to encrypt those streams. So as a general rule, very, very few people have the technology to do that. They want to tie it in with an internet subscription. So in other words, it's not like regular over the air HD television that's free. You can put up a coat hanger if you're in the right area, have an old piece of junk TV or of some kind, as long as it has a tuner, and you're good. Now they kind of want to force you to sign in and be able to access it that way. Now there are some people. I follow a YouTuber named Lon.tv. He's on this. He's talking to the legislators and trying to really following this case. They're trying to pressure the industry to not, to not let this stuff be locked down like that. I don't know in the future what's going to happen, but the problem is, for anyone imagining like there's going to be some new tier of 4K, higher quality, more pixels type TV, that would require a monumental effort, which it did happen. You guys, some of you are old enough to remember 2007, where there was a huge push by the U.S. government, the television manufacturers, the broadcasters. It took everybody, every stakeholder, the consumers, the retail stores, Best Buy, they all had to get on the program to switch from standard definition to HD TV. And that required legislation, Congress, millions, maybe billions of dollars of investment. That is not happening. So don't get your hopes up that this is going to
No. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware of all these, the DRM issues and stuff like that. So are you using like a some type of transcoder that has network ability that you can like go each, to multiple televisions?
Yeah, so I went on a rant there because I've been following it. Yes, to answer that part of your question, I'm just using regular benefiting from regular HD television. I don't have 4K. And as far as the technology, I have a regular antenna on my roof. And I'm lucky that the house I live in, like the previous house, the coax was already there from,
Okay.
the previous tenant, DirecTV or whatever. And then I have a powered splitter where it comes in the living room behind me. And then the two, the Y split, one goes into the Tableau 4th gen device, one goes into the Amazon Recast, which is still functioning more or less. And I've got, actually, they're both recording. One's a backup for the other in case one conks out or doesn't work, like the Recast sometimes had issues. So, and then they're both connected to my network. And then you have an app on your Fire TV device, which is why I said it was the epicenter for everything. Tableau has its own app on Fire TV 4K Max. Because I have multiple Fire TV, streaming sticks on all my 3 TVs. Or the Recast is integrated right into the menu for Fire TV 4K Max. So therefore, I could watch any of the programs that are recorded on my 2 separate DVRs on any of my TVs, or I could watch live, as well, and hit pause and rewind and all that,
Yeah.
Or if you had you could even split it out one more time if I wanted. Like in the previous house, it had more splits and connections. I even had it direct into the TV, and then you could use your actual TV tuner to, and the quality is much better.
Yeah.
Than what you get, for streaming. If you watch, say, I don't know, like you're a football fan, if you have a decent signal, it's like it looks 4K compared to what you're watching on YouTube TV or some of these other platforms online.
Okay. Thanks.
Just Anthony Goldstein, thanks for the co-producer support for membership. I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting the channel. All right, so I think. So Drew, you'd use the home run thing for your live TV, right?
Yeah, I have an HD Home Run Flex 4K. So what that does is I have an over-the-air antenna that feeds into that device, and that transcodes, 65 channels basically, where I live, and that allows me to use. There's a couple different things. Like, for example, I'm using the Apple TV 4K. On a couple, my upstairs televisions and my downstairs televisions. And those allow you to have the HD Home Run software running so you can do DVR and things like that. The other thing is there's actually a lot better software that I don't use, but this one's the HD Home Run is cheaper. So it's called Channels. It's called Channels software. And there's also something called Channels DVR, and I think it's like $35. But you also have to pay for your guide to come in. So because of where you live, the local television has its own guide, and it has to update. So, there are things like that. So, but I didn't want to make this a television pod or whatever, but yeah, the HD Home Run is really good software. The only thing, and the thing that was interesting was at some point there were local channels. I'm in the Tampa Bay metro area, and so there was channels that was using the next gen TV, so 3.0 protocol, and I was able to watch, it's 1.0 or 3.0. I was able to watch 3.0 at a much higher kind of like bit rate. And so it's unfortunate that you're not able to take advantage of technology that's already there, in that and that they have basically encrypted everything. But this tuner is already ready for that. So, but there are tuners out there now that do this kind of decryption, but not all of them do. So
We don't care about your e-waste. We want our money. Give us our money.
yeah.
So right now we're kind of stuck on YouTube TV, but YouTube TV is supposedly coming out with some cheaper plans, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping that one of them is just like the local channels and nothing else, because very rarely do we actually watch anything other than the local channels. So I know that it's silly because we do have an over-the-air antenna that we could use, but still changing the channel is the problem. My hope is that one day I'll be able to do something like that where I have something coming in where I can watch through Jellyfin or I can watch through Plex or whatever. That'd be really cool. But I go back to what I was doing. Like personally, I'm not that big. Like in fact, all of the TV that I watch, well, not all of it, the 99.9% of the TV that I watch came out at least 10 years ago. So, I'm rewatching Dexter right now, like the original Dexter. And yeah, my excuse for watching the original Dexter is to think, well, maybe I'll watch the new one, but I know deep in my heart that I'm not going to do it, so I'm just watching the original Dexter.
Sorry, Matt.
No,
I just wanted to add something really quickly because I have to go. But
go ahead.
The one thing that you just mentioned as far as Plex and Jellyfin, you're able to add your transcoder directly into their interface. So actually, that's a way to like not have to get your the programs. It automatically does it for you. The Plex server automatically like refreshes TV listings and stuff like that. And my buddies are able in Atlanta and Texas are able to watch my local TVs because I give them access to my Plex server, which is a really nice thing. So if you do travel and you are so inclined, you have over-the-air television, then you can actually watch it anywhere at all.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. GNU to Linux, go ahead.
Following up on what you said, that's the beauty of the Recast and the Tableau device. They're I think the only two, or maybe 2 out of 3 DVRs that do not have any charge, any recurring charge, annual or monthly charge for the guide data. I get 2 full weeks of guide data in advance, so I can scroll through the grid, see what programs are coming up, manually select something to record as a one-off, or I could, of course, select it as a recurring series recording. And it just like, you would back in the day on your cable box or satellite setup, and it will reliably record those for me. So that's why I chose those 2. And, the Recast is out of, sort of its lifespan, but that's why I have the Tableau sort of simultaneously working with it in case the Recast finally, goes end of life and the guide data stops. So yeah, it's nice not having to pay for that data. Although he likes his channels, so he has to pay a little something for it. And it's also, and then secondly, he mentioned the word transcoding twice. I can tell you, I have never ever given 1 second of thought to the idea of transcoding. Whatever's captured on those 2 physical, hard drives, both of which I have expanded memory on, it just streams over my network. I've never once thought to myself, oh, gee, this is transcoding. It's a big file. It can't handle it. Never. Same thing with, I have Plex. So if I have some local files on one of my hard drives connected to the desktop to my right, it just, gets zapped through the, 2 feet through the air to my television screen. It doesn't matter. Even if I like rip a 45 gigabyte Blu-ray and it's big, high bit rate, I have never once given a second of thought with Plex and the Plex client on Fire TV. It has never once failed where it somehow struggled or choked. It had to be transcoded. So transcoding hasn't been an issue in my experience.
Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, I just real quick. Some people were talking about the HD home run device. I use one of those and feed it into my MB, so I basically get local TV, live TV, and can DVR and everything through there. It's kind of a nice unified interface. If I that is sort of like the one difficulty. It is also a little bit slow to switch channels. It's kind of like YouTube TV where you click and it takes a minute and it comes up, but you can watch it. There are times where I miss just hitting a button, turning the TV on, and have instant view of whatever was on. But other than that, it works pretty good. And a Although I might be convinced if YouTube TV had a reasonably priced local channels only plan, because it works very good.
Yeah, so I've saw a couple news articles about their new plans. I'm hoping, because there's not a lot of details quite yet, but I'm really hoping that, because they're supposedly have multiple different ones that are like packages, and they're supposed to be much cheaper. I'm hoping one of them is at least like basic cable kind of thing, like local channels and maybe like the food channel or something like that. Great. But knowing them, they'll mess it up somehow. So, Arch Penguin, go ahead. You muted yourself. You were already unmuted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so on the subject of content and that kind of, we're guilty. We go to the thrift store and buy VHSs to play on our Sony Trinitron.
For the kids around here, VHS or things you like, think cassette tapes but bigger, and then you'd tell well cassette tapes, they're these round things that have circles in the middle, and you put them in the thing. Yeah.
Well, that, and we also have Dabian running Jellyfin as well for all my backed up DVDs and stuff.
I think I'm at the tail end of any generation that's going to know what the hell VCR is, because I was 5 and it was Land Before Time on VCR.
Sorry.
Okay.
at my grandparents' house. So it's
man.
I'll be one of the last who remembers. I shall carry the knowledge into the future. Okay.
I am hoping this year to find some time, because everything's been crazy. I have never experienced Laserdisc, and I know that was kind of a thing like around like the late 90s, early 2000s. So I have a couple Laserdiscs, and my buddy has a Laserdisc player and some Laserdiscs. In fact, I have like 2 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation on Laserdisc. I've got Wrath of Khan. He's got a couple other movies. I think we're literally just going to go get some booze, go get drunk, and watch Laserdiscs for an entire evening, just to see what it's like, because he has a pretty nice TV, and
I'm tempted.
Just go see what it's like, you know.
First off, just to get that out here, nerd. Second of all, okay. We're scaring away all of the Gen Z guys. I'm just saying, all the Gen Z guys are just gone. They like, what are these old fuckers talking about? Fucking geezers, you know.
I'm Gen Z and I know this.
But it just reminded, all this talk kind of reminded me of the back in the day when Netflix would ship you a DVD to your house, and I have approximately 2,000 movies in my movie library. Approximately 80% of them came from me taking the mail from Netflix and ripping it via handbrake and taking it that way. Oh, wait, I'm gonna get demonetized. That was years ago, FBI. It's beyond the statute of limitations. But I would just subscribe to the DVD service. They'd send me a DVD. I'd rip it. I'd send it back. And nobody ever had to wait for me. I just took it. So that was the best way to get content ever. I miss that type of service. Anybody actually know if there's like a ship to house Blu-ray service that's still in existence? Probably not, right?
I'm not aware of one.
Oh, I'm gonna yield to let GNU to.
GNU to Linux. Go ahead. You can just go. We're as long as we're not talking to over each other, we're okay without the hand raising. Go ahead, go.
Okay, so yes, I'm going to tell you right now, here's a service that you can use that is better than Blockbuster, better than Netflix DVD by mail, better than the old VHS local video store. It exists right now in 2026, probably exists in your town, and you can get any movie that you want.
He says
for
the library.
free. Yes, the library. You probably heard me mention this before.
Yeah,
I'm going to interrupt you there, but that would entail leaving my house.
Oh my God!
Hey,
I
no,
mean,
I don't want to.
you never
No. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear the mister who went on for 5 minutes about how he has everything within reach of him talk about me leaving my house.
I mean, don't you go grocery shopping once a week or go to leave the house at
we have
some
delivery
point?
for that nonsense nowadays, old man.
It's free. I mean, it is free. You used to have to go to Blockbuster, but okay. I mean, it's there. It's free. They get you every movie in the highest quality, depending if your town has it. So, yeah, don't be afraid to leave the house. And Matt, I want to see you this year, 2026. I'd like you to make a New Year's resolution that you're going to go to a concert and see a band play live, even if there's a crowd there and you don't know anybody in that crowd.
No,
I want to see that happen.
I will watch one on YouTube.
I'm autistic, and it was worth it just once for the experience.
I've been to I've been to one.
Do it just once. Taste test.
I've been to
It's
one.
cool if you've never done it.
I went to Trans-Siberian Orchestra back in the mid 2000s. So
yeah, if you come out
I
to
guess that works.
California, I'll take you to the Bay Area and we'll go to a mosh in the mosh pit.
First off, I have crappy knees. Second of all, I'm not comfortable with. I mean, you guys are the perfect distance away from me. What now is what I'm trying to say. I'm much happier. I got my phone here. I don't have remote control, stuff here that I can point to, but I got my monitors. I'm very cozy right here. Thank you very much.
I'm behind you.
Jesus Christ.
I've done a few.
My best mate, when I was a kid, their parents used to have a video club. Going to the stud shop was amazing. Like go there and you see the movie Independence Day, the posters, everything. Oh man,
I think
watched a lot. That was so great.
Yeah, I think my problem is I live in a small town, so we don't have shit. So I got into the habit of not. I don't have the experience of saying, hey, I'm going to go down to the record store. We don't have a record store. We've never had a record store. We have 3,000 people in this town, and if we want to go to a major grocery store, we have to drive 20 minutes away. I couldn't even tell you where well, actually, that's a lie. There was a record store in Lansing, but that closed years and years ago. So I mean, I couldn't tell. Like, I know that record stores have kind of like had a resurgence lately. Like, you can go get vinyl if you wanted to. Probably the same thing with like CDs. Like, places you can go. I watched a thing on the news the other day where like some people are actually selling VHS tapes again. Like, that's still a thing. But I live in it's like Podunk U here. It's just like it's a literally small town. I mean, it's not like. I'm not Nate who lives in the middle of cow country, but I'm. It's a small town. We don't have stuff here, so I think that one of the reasons why I've gotten out of the habit of doing things like going to a record store or go to Blockbuster or whatever is just because once that stuff went away, even further away from me, there was no reason to go do it. Now it's just everything is digital. I'm also been always happier, at home.
Everything.
Go ahead.
Everything digital is kind of weird because it's like space doesn't exist. You only have this concept called latency.
I think I'm weird in that because I like having physical. It's not like I don't like physical copies of things, but I like having stuff on my hard drive that I own. I mean? Like, if I'm going to have it digital, I want it to be on a hard drive. That's the reason why I have a JBOD underneath my desk here that has 100 terabytes of storage on it, where I can store everything I want. I can go through and go to like I spent an inordinate amount of money this last fall redoing my entire music collection because I wanted to stop paying for Spotify. And so I went through the various places where you can get royalty-free music, Bandcamp, and some stuff from Amazon and other things, and some used CDs that I had shipped here, and I just ripped them all. They're now like there. I over like a period of a couple months, I had like 5 terabytes worth of downloads because I downloaded everything as max quality as possible. I'm not an audiophile, by the way, at all. I couldn't tell you the difference between an MP3 and a FLAC, but I figured if I'm going to have them, I might as well have the highest quality. but I don't. I'm trying to get away from the streaming stuff a little bit. So let's get it away from me going to concerts and making me uncomfortable at all. But what do you guys currently? What's your current state of subscription services? Like what do you pay for? And are there areas where you think that you're eventually going to be able to cut back, or are the things that you're looking to still subscribe to? I don't know if you have an answer to that question, but you can go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about which application are you using in your phone to listen to the music, and how are you streaming it?
So I use Navidrum, which is a subsonic client, and it's awesome. Like it's very, very good. I tried to use Jellyfin, but Jellyfin, once you get to a certain point in terms of like an amount of artists, it just bogs right down. Like especially because it does all that background like searching for metadata and stuff like that. And if it's in a point where it's doing that, which it does every 24 hours, it just like slows to a crawl. So Navidrum is what I've been using, which is a subsonic client, and then I use Symphonium on the phone to stream it on the phone. It's a great application, even though the developer is kind of one of those God special people.
Okay. So
It's like you use like a tailnet or something to access it for your phone. Or?
Cloudflare Tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew you had to do something. You
Yeah.
can't raw dog it, you know.
Yeah. I thought at one point I had it set up with Nginx, but I don't care for having ports open on my network, so it just felt less bad having a Cloudflare tunnel. I'm not sure that it's actually less bad. It probably isn't, but it was so easy to set up. Like it's like freaking magic. And for some reason, I trust Cloudflare more than I trust the Tailscale guys, even though I probably shouldn't trust either of them. Eventually, I'll set up like Caddy or something like that in order to do it on my own. But as of right now, Cloudflare tunnel is where I go.
I'm using WireGuard, so VPN to my local network. Goes great. Anyway, my last subscription goes to Spotify. I cancelled after 15 or 16 years using Spotify, so I canceled it.
Yeah, I was right there too. With I didn't have 15 or 16 years on one service. I constantly move through all of them, so I have different playlists on every service. None of them are the same. It's not a. It was time for me to do my own thing. First, Unwalled Garden, Janky Box Sadist, that's exactly what it is. It especially if you connect via USB, it is janky, but it works. And Greg, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The profile picture is
USB,
the profile picture is so small I couldn't actually tell, but I was like, I kind of remember that username. But so thank you for the super chat. And you can go ahead. I don't know if you were first, but you can go.
I'll just make it short. My my guilty non-FOSS pleasure is a YouTube Premium subscription because I know they're ripping me off, but I just YouTube's like unwatchable with all the ads, and I'm not going to go through all the machinations. I just want to be able to watch it and use it, and so it worked great. But I sort of justify that because we've got rid of like all the various, except for Netflix, all the various streaming subscriptions because we just prefer to watch stuff that we've already got, right? Like movies we already have on MB, Jellyfin, whatever, that kind of stuff, and so that helps. And we don't have any of the music things because I still have zillions of MP3s from back in the day, and I remember sitting down with my brown MacBook G3 and the CD reader in there and just ripping the CD collection. And every once in a while we find stuff at Goodwill or whatever and add music, and that works fine. The player aspect of it is a little bit less plug and play than something like Spotify, but we still manage.
I'm astonishingly happy now that I'm doing my own music thing. Like it feels really good to not have to pay that $12 a month or whatever it was to Tidal. And it's not like those services were ever bad, but you just know that eventually they're going to be as expensive as Netflix is, because they're going to see like Netflix can raise prices every month and people just continue to pay for it. the music companies will do the same thing. It's just eventually everything will be more expensive, and I'm just happy to be away from that. War Thunder, it looks like you're next. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I still have some subscriptions around here. I think at one time I had Spotify. I canceled it a long, long time ago just because I don't know. I never really stream music that much. I had full YouTube Premium. I did back it off to the Premium Lite, which basically just hacks off the YouTube music side of things. I just didn't use it a lot. Maybe I'd use it more now that I'm in the office and not working from home. But I've tried to comb through my music library. My wife has gone to a great extent, has actually re-ripped a lot of my library from the CDs that I still have because I've got 20 years worth of CDs that I've collected from thrift stores all over the place for, $2 here, $2 here, $4 here. Um, and so we've tried to kind of clean up the library. There's still some stuff I got to go through and clean up. But we still have, let me see, we still have Prime, but we buy stuff off Amazon. We'll probably still have Prime for a while longer. I pay for YouTube just because I can't deal with the ads. And I also, at least I'm under the impression that a premium user, you as a YouTuber get more money out of that than just off of ads, but that could be wrong. I don't know. That's what I thought it was. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. But at least I pay for it. I don't have to deal with ads, so I appreciate that much. I think my wife does Crunchyroll because she watches a lot of anime and that on there, and sometimes I do too. So that one's probably not going away anytime soon, as long as she can still watch all of her stuff. We try to buy whatever we can as we can. Like just as an example, it's taken a long time, but we have bought and ripped the majority of Fairy Tale. But my God, there are so many episodes to deal with.
You're like downloading episode or issues of One Piece. You know what I mean? That's gonna take a while, man.
And Blu-rays take forever to pull through, make MKV and whatnot. Just like we started doing that with what was the other show she was getting me to watch? Because I had never experienced much anime before I met her, so that's kind of a new thing for me. I think it was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was the other one that we started getting into. So I'm trying to catch up with all that. And, she has to buy it slower than it takes me to get it on the server so we can keep watching it, which is its own problem. I think that's pretty much most of it. I've tried to cut back most of my subscriptions. Probably the only other one I have is just to Notes Nook for notes. It's not even for like media or whatnot. And it helped me reorganize my personal life into notes because I'm a little funky. I've never managed to do the physical notes thing because it's never around when I need it. And maybe that's a personal problem. It probably is a skill issue. But I've tried to minimize the amount of subscriptions I have for that reason, just because I don't know. I used to have a lot more, and I just at some point, like at one time, I had Netflix, and we just said, we don't need that anymore. I will probably occasionally get Paramount just because I'm a Star Trek nerd, and I'll pick that up every once in a while, binge watch a bunch of stuff, cancel it. I try to buy that stuff on Blu-ray, but who knows how much longer they'll make Blu-ray since they don't really make Blu-ray drives anymore. And
yeah, get into Linux. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't like subscriptions. I have minimized mine to as few as possible. As far as music, I'm sure I might have said this once before. The idea of having a music subscription to me is crazy. Every album that I want to listen to that I don't already have from buying it throughout my lifetime is on YouTube. You could just listen to it for free on YouTube, and you don't need to pay a nickel for it. It's there if you want it. You don't need to spend hours or fret about archiving it. And also, as a big music fan, a lot of the music I listen to would be live performances. So, because of course, all my favorite bands and artists that have been around, I've sort of played the albums out over the decades of my life. I don't want to go back and listen to them, the original recording usually, but I find a lot of value in going online on YouTube and listening to live performances of whether they're from decades ago and archived professionally shot concert movies, or whether they're something that was from last week with someone holding up their iPhone or a decent, hopefully a decent camera at a concert, and be able to see, because it's different, it sounds a little different. They play a different version of the song. So as far as music, YouTube is it for me. And as far as TV, I have or streaming, I have Prime, which I get a lot of shipping, and then I've got a couple of other, only two others. I've got Fight Pass and bare knuckle television, because I'm a big fight fan. But other than that, I don't pay for anything else. But I am lucky because my 82-year-old dad is very good at shopping, and he has almost every other streaming service except for Netflix. He figures out when they go on sale. He gets the Black Friday deal. He somehow gets them for like $2 a month or something like that. He's got HBO, Hulu, Disney, Paramount Plus, Peacock. He's got all of them because he doesn't live in an area where he can get antenna. So he gets all his shows that way, and he shares them with me. And so far, we've been lucky they haven't caught on or cracked down, that have too many streams going. So I pretty much have access to everything almost.
Arch Penguin, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as music goes, I'm a big live music person, so that's kind of where I get most of my music is from the band. Like I buy it from their merch booth, and then I do rip it at home, for archival process. But also, I don't know. I just think physical media is very important, and I'm a big fan of vinyl as well. So I just think we've really lost our way when it comes to the whole experience of music. And like I could just think back to when I was young. I still do it now, but
Yeah, because
when you go to
with
the music
vinyl and
store
stuff, it's
and
intentional.
you had to take a gamble, man. Hopefully this is good. I look at the cover. 'Cause I was a big metal fan. I love heavy metal, and like, oh, this looks cool. And you had to. It was like a gamble almost because you'd never heard them, and there wasn't all this internet and everything. And so you take it home and you put it on. You put your headphones on. You get the lyrics out. And it's a whole experience that I think that a lot of this newer generations are kind of missing out on. Not all of them, but
Okay, so I'm gonna say something, potentially offensive here, but all new generations create their own way of listening to music. So it's like, yeah, the new kids aren't going to have the same way that I listen to music, and I didn't have the same way probably that you guys had, because by the time I got into music, of course, CDs were the thing. I was on the tail end of cassette tapes or whatever, but that was like middle school and then whatever. But I never had the vinyl experience really. I mean, I remember like one time when I was a kid. By the time I remember anything, the needle on my mom's vinyl player was broken. So we don't just listen to it. So I think that for kids these days, their experience is going to be Spotify. And, yes, is it different than, going to listen to a vinyl thing? Yes, absolutely. Is it worse? Not for them. They think that it's what there is, and that's their experience, and they think that is fine.
Yeah. One phenomenon I find really amusing is how in the younger population there's a sort of general consensus that Funky Town sounds better when it's compressed and bass boosted. It's the strangest thing to me, but I find it pretty funny.
I just have a hard. I don't know. I'm weird in that I've always like my parents dislike my music. Like they don't like. I'm granted, I like all sorts of music, so they can't hate all of it. But a lot of like the hardcore rock and roll stuff that I like from the alternative bandy or of the early 2000s, they can't stand, right? But
Yeah, and
every parent hates their kids' music. Like the my mom's and dad's parents hated Elvis Presley. You know, like they couldn't stand him. Right? He was the devil incarnate because he was shaking his hips. You know, like leading all those young girls astray. And it's just the same thing with Taylor Swift. People, the new kids don't like the older generation doesn't like Taylor Swift because of how she dresses or whatever. Mike, go ahead. Oh, you're still muted, bud.
Yeah, I was saying, you just more or less what I wanted to say, right?
Okay.
I remember one quote from my uncle is, "You miss everything," right, relating to the music. So yeah, I don't know. I found back into Spotify is for me it's a great service, right? Is avoid me to go and go on internet, find the album, download, make the playlist. So all of that work, like I nowadays I don't have time to do, like with 2 clicks on the application. So great. So you have the playlist. But on the other hand, is what you we are talking about is they just so greedy. They just keep pushing the prices up, 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 like pushing us to back to the right, early 2000s and download all the music by ourselves and
Yeah.
make our library.
Well, it is true that subscriptions are horrendous. So this last summer, I wrote a blog post in my personal blog about all the subscriptions that I have, and I added them up, and just the monthly ones was well over $200 a month. Yeah. You gotta remember, half of that is YouTube TV. Half of it is YouTube TV because we can't get any other TV really out here. Because we live in the boondocks, and we can get a little bit of over the air. We get like 6 channels. And granted, we would watch those channels. It was fine for a little while, but there's other things that the family watches. But $85 of that was just YouTube TV. And then at the time, I was subscribing to Paramount Plus because we were watching Big Brother, and there was a couple others. But since then, I've gotten it down to about $150. It's still way too expensive. The vast majority of that's still YouTube TV. That's why I'm really looking forward to the other hopefully cheaper plans. But my problem isn't the paying of the subscriptions, right? Like I don't mind, like if it provides a service. Like I think Spotify for a lot of people brought access to music that they were never going to have access to before. You know, like a lot of people can't go out and buy hundreds of CDs, but $10 a month, it is doable for them. And yes, you could argue that they could put that $10 a month towards a CD, and over time they'd have a collection. That's true, but there is a idea that they have an immediate access to all this music, which is a good thing. Now there are also arguments against that, where because they chip the artists and all this stuff. All that's reasonable and accurate and all that stuff, but I think that at least at a certain point, the subscription for music for a lot of people brought access to them when they wouldn't otherwise have had it. But the problem with subscriptions isn't that you pay $10 a month for Spotify. It's that 3 years from now, you may be paying $15 a month for Spotify, and another 3 years after that, you'll pay $20 a month for Spotify. When Netflix was first started the streaming thing, after when they started moving to streaming, like you could get a streaming package for like $7.99 or something like that. It was crazy. Like what a hell of a deal. Like, yeah, the vast majority of the stuff on there you wouldn't want to watch anyways, but it's whatever, it's great. Now what is it, like $25 a month if you want the version without advertising? It's just it's insane. And in every fall they'll say, oh well, we're raising it another $2, and eventually just Netflix alone will cost you $50 a month or whatever. That's the problem I have with subscriptions. Not that it exists, but that there's no sense of like this is going to be a reasonable price for a long period of time, because eventually, and it's weird, it feels like they're shooting themselves in the foot, because they have to know that eventually there is an upper price limit to what people will pay. eventually there's something that they'll, that's too much. I'm sorry, I'm not paying $40 a month for Netflix. It's just not worth it. So
and they're going to have to come up with a new Stranger Things, or
yeah, they'll have to have something.
I know that was a large part of us hanging on to it, was just, there's another season.
The way that I do it is I generally will try to rent the season. Like, I won't pay a subscription because I know I'll get sucked down it. But if I can't rent the season for a month for $5 or less, it's just not worth it. Because I'm not always watching a show, and so, especially not always on that particular streaming service. So just people with 4 or 5 streaming services, and they don't watch on all of them consistently, that's 6 months of HBO Max or whatever the hell they're calling it now, that's like you aren't using, and that's $120 down the drain or whatever it is.
Well,
imagine if I have to pay $5 every time I rewatch The Wire. It's like it will be now $1,000.
Yeah. Are you saying, Mike, that you have a little bit of a wire addiction? That's what I'm hearing.
Oh man, that is the best show ever.
I second that. You have good taste.
So I think that the thing is that it's just maybe the best part about the streaming thing is that you can, Stranger Things is on. I can subscribe to this thing for a month, watch all of it, and then cancel. You know what I mean? That's the way you do it. But a lot of us, and I'm not pointing fingers, subscribe to something and then say they're going to cancel it, and then realize 12 months from now, I've been paying for this thing for a while, haven't actually used it all that much, but I thought I was going to cancel.
Yeah, that's why I'm never subscribing, because knowing me, I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah.
The best part about streaming is,
yeah, it's like the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I don't know where that came from. All right. Is there anything else that you guys want to chat about? We got a little bit of time where we can end it here. Any other topics you guys wanted to hit before we get out of here? Going once, twice? Go ahead.
I have something that I found kind of interesting. So, people say that NVIDIA is bad under Wayland, and I kind of agree. But I found that when you stream out to the display through your integrated graphics, that fixes the stuttering issue. So it's something to do with the way KWin uses the NVIDIA GPU to ready the frames and output them. I don't know what it is, but when I like, the indirect route is actually better, and I'm curious to know the technical aspects of it, but when I render on my dedicated graphics, pipe it through my integrated, and I output to the display through my integrated, it seems to fix it. So it was just some information that some people could use. So if you want to use
one of the most Linuxy things I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I can believe it. KWin has some very interesting mannerisms sometimes. I just wiped my living room PC that I play games on for the reason of I'm not sure what all services didn't load. It was some Bazite update that came through, and again, I'm not throwing sticks at them. It's probably nothing they did. KWin just decided that its job was done and it no longer wished to load anymore. I don't know what I did. I don't know what was going on. I run a 1070 in that system. It was the old GPU from this thing.
Before
and,
you
I don't know. I don't know.
Before you shut down, Super Control Escape and then click on your wallpaper in KDE Plasma, it will kill the desktop environment and you'll have just KWin with just the windows and your panel will disappear. It will just be a black screen and
I
you have to
don't-
use
That's
keyboard
interesting.
I don't
shortcuts
have
and
to.
mouse
I don't
everything.
have to hit the key binding. It just does that on its own. Okay.
Or I
So-
discovered it on.
Okay, so my problem with KDE isn't that it's buggy. We all know that it's buggy. My biggest problem with KDE is that they don't like you talking about the bugs. The minute I get on Mastodon and say, "Hey, KDE is buggy," I get nine people who immediately tube back at me saying, "Hey, I have the perfect experience on KDE. I don't know what the fuck you're doing wrong.
Shush, everything is
Obviously,
buggy."
you're
Yeah.
the moron here. KDE is perfect.
Clearly.
I don't want to hear shit."
I don't know, man. It sounds
And
like a
like-
skill issue.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, that's
perfect.
exactly what they tell me. It's a me problem. Like,
And
okay,
that's the thing. I couldn't diagnose the issue in my case. Like, I'll keep it brief, but like, it was the funniest thing ever because so the desktop loads up, right? My wallpaper is there. So something loads. Taskbar's gone. Parts of KWin haven't loaded. I have no keyboard and mouse. I have no Bluetooth because the Bluetooth service failed to load because whatever part of the desktop that manages all that is gone. Steam Big Picture loads. But I can't control it because the only way to control Steam Big Picture is to have a keyboard and mouse, which doesn't work if, the desktop environment doesn't load, or Bluetooth because I have a DualSense controller, which doesn't work because the Bluetooth service didn't load. So I just sat there staring at Steam Big Picture, admiring how nice it was, and then not being able to do anything about it but walk up and hold the power button down on the computer.
My thing
Yeah.
is that KDE in theory should be the default desktop environment for distros. I truly do believe that. I don't like a lot of
Yeah.
things that GNOME does. I
I
think that,
disagree.
I think that they are oftentimes anti-user in some place. So they've gotten better in recent years. But KDE takes what GNOME does and just everything is opposite. Like we're just going to do it completely differently, and we're open to everything. Everyone has an idea. We're going to implement it. It's great. And when you have all the features, you can't focus on one feature and make it good. Like it's just the way that it is. So,
Yeah, if you want your panel to be 108 pixels thick, be my guest.
Possibly. That's why I
I once
I'll
made it
defend
stretch
Cinnamon.
from all the way to the top of the screen to all the way to the bottom of the screen just because I was wondering how tall it would let me make it.
It's one of the few reasons why I defend Cinnamon. I've not had that happen in Cinnamon. I know their development is quite slow. I know everyone's bashed them for Wayland not coming fast enough. Generally,
It's
things
coming,
work,
but
at
at
least
the
for
appropriate
me.
pace. I would rather something come slowly and ready than not come at all.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like KDE and GNOME made Wayland work overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, Wayland's been around for a long time, and they spent a long time polishing their sessions. So, generally
think-
speaking, it works for me. It might not work for everybody, but
I think I mean, everyone has to understand KDE. KDE is like Flash is the queue spinning, right? They don't look, they don't. It's not that they don't look. It's stability is not their main goal, right? It's more of it has, I don't know how to say, like nice things, right? And show off about the desktop environment. If you don't want that flashy, you just run GNOME or XFCE or
Yeah.
Cinnamon. If you want, I think it's a bit of misunderstand what is KDE. Maybe because Steam make it so stable, but they are running version.
Yeah, I don't think that I agree with you that their mission isn't stability. I think that they want to make it stable. I just think that they can't.
I think it's the
just have
user
too many
base wants they to be more stable, but the developers don't want to develop big bug fixing, right? They want to do new stuff.
If you go to the KDE bug tracker and just search KWin, there's more KWin bugs than the bug tracker can show. No, I mean, like that's 100% true. It can only show so many bugs, and if you go beyond, it can't show them. Now, granted, those are probably like 10 years old and are no longer like a problem, but there's no development team in the world, Microsoft, Google, or otherwise, that can take that amount of bugs and fix them when you have that amount of features, especially when you have the resources that KDE has. It's just, you can't throw that much money at it in developer time. They have to focus on other things, and it's stable enough. I think that's the way they look at it, is it's stable enough that you can use it.
But back to the 2008 was right. Ubuntu switch to, it was for a reason. That time I wasn't running Linux that time, but a few years later, it's still buggy, a lot of bugs, and it was cool, but just is misunderstand, I think. KD is KD. I know I don't run it now. I don't run it nowadays, but if I have to run one desktop environment, it's gonna be KD, knowing it's gonna crash and be like a bit buggy, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's why XFC or Cinnamon is the answer. Arch Penguin, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to weigh in on KDE. It's kind of a love-hate thing for me. And now it really depends on how you use it. Okay. Here's an example. On Arch, you update. Your shit is just broken. All right. Yay, broken desktop. Right? Arch. Well, KDE is a rolling desktop. You're going to have the same kind of things that Arch has, right? Because you're always adding. You can't leave it alone. You just can't just say, okay, it's done, No, you just got to add more and more and more. And you wonder why it's so buggy, right? But here's the thing. I could take that same, and it has to do with which distro too, right? If you go on Debian and you use their KDE, I've literally, just like someone else may have said, I've never really had that many issues with it. It works perfectly on AMD hardware. I'm just saying, it's because it's static. They're not messing with it, right? It's like they picked a version. They went, oh, okay, Debian, I like this. We're gonna freeze it right there. But when you get Arch or something that's more up to date and changing more often, man, it is. That's why I mean love-hate. I kind of love it for certain distros.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. No.
Well,
Yeah, I've been on Arch and Cashy for the past year. Wait, no, it'd be like 3 years almost by this point. But I've never had any breakages at all. There was one breakage, but it was me having to go into my NVIDIA drivers and remove AD103. Thankfully, I'm GA104. It's a 3070 laptop, but that wasn't even plasma related. That was the one breakage I had. So it is also a thing of luck.
Dane, go ahead.
Yeah, I first started using KDE back in 2000. I think it was Red Hat Lake 6.2. And I was a KDE fanboy for 25 years. I only switched 2025 when I finally started discovering how good window managers really were after not even giving them a chance. The only time I really had major stability issues with KDE was the early 4 releases. And it wasn't just 4.0. I think 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 were that great either. But other than that, and I was even running it on CachyOS even last year. So yeah, Bleeding Edge always has bugs, but generally, with the exception of early 4, I've always found it to be pretty good.
I don't think I have a problem with people who say that they've never had a problem with KDE. That's fine. It's the people who come at you thinking that there's when I have a problem that I'm the reason for the problem. Like if I'm just sitting using the thing and all of a sudden Kwin crashes, I didn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is yeah.
My thing is perfect. You insulted it. You insulted me.
Well, I think people have just the people on Mastodon in general have a hard time understanding that we don't all use the exact same computer and the same hardware and the same GPU and all that stuff. So there's something about my computer that has problems running KDE and DaVinci Resolve. Like it can't do those two things, and I'm just gonna have to live with it until I decide to buy a new computer. Maybe it's the cheap Chinese RAM that I decided I had to have when I built the computer. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's the fact that it's all AMD. I don't know. But anyways, guys, we're gonna stop there. We reached our 2-hour thing, which is good. Excellent conversation. For those of you who watched live, there's a couple things that actually before we go that we got to take care of, some housekeeping, if you will. First off, I ran a poll earlier asking people what browser they use. The something else won that poll at 42%, beating out Firefox in the number 2 spot at 35%, which I found fascinating. Given my audience, I expected Firefox to just kick everybody's ass, but apparently not the case. I'm wondering what that something else actually is. I'm going to guess that they're Firefox clones or forks or whatever. So anyways, there's that. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, you can join us live. We do 2 Linux user groups every month, usually anyways. The first one is the early one. That's the second Thursday of the month at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. I announced back in December that there may be some changes coming to that, and there still may be. I'm not quite happy with the timing of that, so we may be pushing it back an hour. I'll let everybody know before the next one. But anyways, we also do a second one, which is this one. It's the fourth Thursday of the month, and we record that, or we stream that at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to join us, you can join us and talk, or you can watch the live stream. We appreciate everyone who gets into the live stream and chats along with us. That's always an entertaining thing. So thank you so much for watching us live. Thank you guys so much for joining me in the LUG. I truly do appreciate it. We will catch you all on the next one, and we're ending the stream now. So we'll see you later.
See you, host Leon.